take a look at the thing I sent you.
The exercise for map 0.
Yeah.
Is that 0, 0 or 0?
0, 0.
Yeah, I noticed you have a lot of markdown stuff, right? You wrote in the first person voice.
Yeah?
Yeah, you said, I want you to do this or what.
Yeah.
Kind of not as a group, right? So what shall we do with this? The writing part. Do you think people will read those markdown text writing?
Well, if they don't read it, it's not like
I think
I know what you're talking about, that huge block of text, right?
Yes.
If they don't read that, then honestly,
or do
like,
you need? Can you make it?
I know it's a bit long, right?
Yeah. Make it concise so that they don't have to read all. It's just instill so that you have only, instead of 500 words, maybe you can just reduce to few sentences, the main point.
Alright.
Yeah, because there are some exercises you want to focus on the exercises, and when they reach to text part, what do you want them to know in the text? Want them to be serious, to be careful when they do math?
Well, I want them to do this with the future in mind.
Yes,
like beyond
yes.
the program.
Yes, I think that is a good point. In fact, we want them to get the idea. The only thing is,
I know.
do you think they will listen?
Well, not up to them, right?
Oh, it's still green. I will see it become 0, but it's still green. I think that assumes we're very old people, very slow.
I'm trying to hide codes in these sorts of things.
How about this? You save this into your own writing, your own data science teaching journal. Yeah, save for yourself, because these are precious for you, but may not be precious for other people. It may be waste to throw away. So you keep to your own writing.
Wait, what do you mean throw away?
You know what? You spend time to write those things. This is important for you to collect as your teaching journal, teaching data science. But if you put this into a group submission, okay, to exercise, they don't treat this as precious as you want, and then eventually become lost.
What do you mean group submission? I don't get what you're getting at here.
Because this is the exercise, it's kind of a group, right? Like
What
I
do you mean
mentioned
kind of group?
today. So each group, you will submit into your group folder. When you reach to STEM Up program, your group will work together. Okay?
Wait, so
if-
I'm giving this only to my group?
Yeah. But eventually, I think, yeah, to your group, because other group may not look at you right. That is why I think eventually I can summarize from both groups to pick up some good exercise so that combined into a folder for STEM Up high school students. What do you think?
So-
When other group write these kind of things, do you want to read
When other group writes,
exercises? You
well,
want to
yeah,
spend time to read?
yeah.
Okay, so then what happens after?
Can you just explain, like, what's gonna happen? Because everything is still in flux, right?
I know, I understand.
So,
And,
so what is the division we decided on? So did we decide on like group 1 having half of the class and group 2 having half of the class?
correct.
that-
When you help them, for example, we are going to have 10 groups.
And
5 groups, you 3 will help. The other half, the other 5 groups, the other group.
really, I don't remember hearing anything about 5 groups in class. But when did you decide
Remember,
that?
three people help half. Originally, I said one person helped about 10 people, right? Because
Yeah.
we have 60 people.
Yeah.
And then 10 people, they are not within one group. So how about 2 people, two TAs help 3 groups, right? Then we have 3 pair, right? TAs. And then I thought, you have 3 people in the group. Why don't we have 3 people help 50, the half, right?
Mhm.
So one group help one half, the other group help the other half.
So where did these 5 groups come from? Is it just
Because assuming we have 10 groups,
oh,
each
okay.
group have 6 people
All right.
in the table.
Okay.
Currently, the registration is 82. Assume 22 people didn't show up. That's reasonable. And eventually we will have 60 people. Or even 50 people, that's still 5 people in a group, right? So we assume there are 10 groups.
So you're saying my things I wrote will only be given to my half?
Correct.
Of-
Correct.
Why?
So you can also share with the whole group, in fact. Yeah, I haven't decided how to do this because that will imagine each person writes this kind of thing, right? And then how do you combine this? Let's need some work. In fact, previous semester, summer, they also wrote similar things. And I didn't have much time. Some very good, some so-so. And in fact, today, Sophia brought them a test 1 practice. She wants to use that that's kind of just a copy and paste. It's not her.
Oh, she.
She wants to use as a format, right?
Yeah.
Template. Yeah, so that's also okay. But eventually you don't know whose idea it is. But eventually how do you find originally I thought I don't want the high school students to submit. But now I think if they don't submit, they don't have some motivation to do anything. Then they think, okay, let's help them submit. For those who do not submit, and you work with them, help them submit, right? So that is the idea.
My only concern is that they'll do it only for the points.
Yeah.
That they'll just go through everything.
And if they can do it, they learn something, right?
Yeah.
So when they reach to final project, they can contribute. The most scary part is like last year, some students came just sleep. They slept through the class. They don't understand. They didn't understand. Then they didn't have any motivation. Then they just slept through. That is the worst. So how do we avoid that? Yeah, I saw you type a lot, okay? But how do we put together and use tools for students? That is something I want. In fact, you may help me to summarize all these suggestions, including this summer, they submit, and also last year's we can also combine. But then eventually I call this Python etudes.
Don't call it that.
Don't call it just exercises, right? Exercise. So then you know what? You can look at Dr. Smith. He wrote a primer, data science primer. I think you're also good at this. Why not? You can write your own primer, and eventually you write your data science teaching kind of journal, like what I said. And eventually you have your own writing and put on your resume.
My only problem with that is I intended for this to be structured around the lab, so that for each lab there would be a set of exercises with it. So are you saying I should have it as a standalone? I'm not.
You can do the standalone,
But like,
a lot of ideas yours. So eventually you can say, this is my teaching journal. You can also put a little summit as a group contribution, but most of the keep yourself. But eventually, even after this, you can, because if 90% is your things, you can just, this is yours. You don't have to cite other people. But if this is group contribution, then eventually you cannot claim this is all yours. So I would say any simple things you can just summarize, keep into your writing, and only bring some relevant part such as the exercise you did before the big chunk of text, right?
Oh, so all you want me to do is just shorten that text?
Yes.
Okay, that's it. Alright. Because I don't want to do anything to the exercises themselves because they hold secret codes.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah, I was surprised, curious. What is the secret code? But I didn't have time to read those secret codes. And you know what? When this is good for you. But at the same time, I'm concerned that you don't have enough time for chemistry part. But you already sent email. That's good. And also with Dr. Who, you need to write, right? Summarize what you have done. And
what do you mean by that?
that is also something you need to summarize what you have done. And in the future, you can write your experience.
Is that like,
In your resume, CV.
okay.
Every day I try to help others, but eventually, how much will be treated as my contribution? I don't know. So in academic field, not only you want to help others as a team member, but also you want to keep your intellectual property. For example, you can write something as your individual contribution so that people can recognize you as an expert in this field, not for the many people. Okay? So that is something you can think about. You look at the Dr. Smith,
That
the
copyright
primer.
thing?
Have you seen his primer?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, you learn from that because the Jupyter notebook, as long as you have the Temple email address, I think you can have your own account to try, and also you can also
Are you saying I should like,
install a what is that? Conga. What is that?
huh?
That is a standalone software.
I don't know.
What is that? That is also a big snake, I think.
Cobra?
Not cobra.
Constrictor?
Not constrictor.
Mhm.
It is. I will find it.
But really,
So we need to think about in this age, we need how to build your intellectual property.